Food addiction. Timothy Beagle, HSR 530. According to the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse, food addiction has been defined as a clinically significant physical and psychological dependence on high fat, high sugar, or highly palatable foods. Food addiction is not in the DSM, but has similar symptoms to binge eating disorders. Symptoms of food addiction. Food is eaten in larger amount and for a longer period than intended. A persistent desire or repeated unsuccessful attempts to quit. Much time and activity to obtain food, eat it, and then recover. Important social, occupational, or recreational activities are given up or reduced. Usage continues despite knowing the adverse consequences. Tolerance. Characteristic withdrawal symptoms and eating to relieve the withdrawal. Eating causes clinically significant impairment or distress. Emotional symptoms of food addiction. Feeling ashamed about your weight. Feeling depressed or sad about your weight or self-image. Feeling hopeless when it comes to losing weight. Eating when upset or depressed. Eating as a reward for a job well done. Eating when you are not hungry. Becoming anxious or irritable when eating certain foods or when not eating, or if there doesn't seem to be enough food. Food addiction can be related to eating disorders. When someone consumes a large amount of food and then follows it with exercise, vomiting, or use of laxatives to eliminate or reduce that number of calories that were eaten, this is known as bulimia. Sometimes excessive eating that is followed by limiting food for days or even weeks at a time, which is a form of anorexia. Both eating disorders can lead to weight loss, therefore not all people who are addicted to food gain weight. One assessment I'd like to talk about is the Yale Food Addiction Scale, YFAS. This was developed in 2008. It is a measure that has been developed to identify those who are most likely to be exhibiting markers of substance dependence with the consumption of high-fat or high-sugar foods. It is a 25-item self-report measure that includes mixed response categories. A food addiction symptom count can be obtained, which is similar to the criteria for substance dependence of the DSM. 2 items assess clinically significant impairment or distress from eating. Food addiction can be diagnosed when 3 symptoms and clinically significant impairment or distress are present. Available treatment options for food addictions are cognitive behavioral therapy, nutritional therapies, psychotherapy, 12-step programs, and medication. Additional information I'd like to share. Problems with food addiction are compounded by the fact that food manufacturers refuse to release any internal data on how they put ingredients together to maximize consumption of their food products, despite multiple requests from researchers. We live in a toxic food environment, a nutritional wasteland. School lunchrooms and vending machines overflow with junk food and sports drinks. Most of us don't even know what we are eating. 50% of meals are eaten outside of the home, and most home-cooked meals are simply microwavable industrial food. Stop and think about this for 1 minute. If you were to eat 500 more calories in a day, that would equal 182,500 calories a year. If you have it to eat an extra 3,500 calories to gain 1 pound, that's a yearly weight gain of 52 pounds.